Splatoon 2 is the latest game from Nintendo to be released on the Nintendo Switch. Unlike Zelda and Mario Kart, Splatoon 2 is only available on the Nintendo Switch. However, its predecessor, the original game, was very well received on the Wii U. Here there's been a few things updated, a few things added, and a few things changed, but it still manages to retain the spirit of the original. Unlike the deluxe upgrade that Mario Kart received, Splatoon 2 gets new weapons, new features, and new maps. You play as an Inkling, a small squid/kid creature wielding weapons which paint the world around you in your team's colour. In Turf War, the basic mode for the game, the winning team is decided by the percentage of the map that's covered in their colour. Even for a novice, there's an immediate feel of a mix of frantic gameplay and fun, since the game's so straightforward to jump into. You can use the motion controls, but we found that it was easier to play with them off in both handheld and dock mode. As you play the game and gain experience, you'll gradually level up, and then once you reach level 10, you'll be able to play the ranked mode, which offers a few different game types. There's more variety on offer here, including Rainmaker, which sees you pursuing a high-powered weapon and trying to transport it to the other side of the map. There's also Tower Defense, which you have to take control of a tower and navigate it through the world. And then there's Splat Zones, a basic King of the Hill style map where you fight for control of a small area. What's most surprising is the amount of variety you find even within a single game mode. Games can change really quickly, even with a few seconds to spare, meaning that every second really does count. Once you've mastered rank mode, you can take on league mode, where there'll be even higher level opponents. To be able to access it though, you'll need to keep your rank up, which involves a lot of straight wins. There's a few different families of weapons to get to grips with, but basically you're looking at short range roller or brush type weapons or longer range guns. There's also support weapons which start off taking the form of grenades, but as you start to level up and unlock new weapons and new abilities, there's again a large variety to explore. Topping it off are abilities which unlock what you painted a section of the map and give you access to some seriously powerful moves. Generally, taking down the enemy or splatting them isn't necessarily the aim of the game here. Really, you have to balance whether taking an enemy out or trying to avoid them and just continue painting is a better strategy. There's also Salmon Run, a horde-like co-op defense mode which sees you take on increasingly large groups of enemies. We did try and show you, but it's closed, which is one of the biggest drawbacks, to be honest, particularly since it's something that feels like you should be able to play it offline by yourself. Speaking of offline, there is a campaign mode which you'll find just to the far left of the Inkopolis square. The campaign takes the form of a series of increasing challenges. It's an easy thing to overlook due to its placement in the game, but it does teach you some key skills that you're going to need for multiplayer. While the game does play well, it becomes difficult if you try and play with friends. There's been plenty of coverage about Nintendo's online app for the Switch, and it's not a great debut here. Not only is getting into a party chat with someone difficult if it works at all, but you're limited to only being able to talk to them when you're inside a game or a lobby. Considering that you're working from a separate device, you'd think you'd just be able to talk to them anytime, but not so. Even putting that aside, you can only stay together in a game if you jump in at the same time, and then there's a bit of luck involved. It's a real shame because there's so much potential here, and while chatting isn't the be-all and end-all, in some of the more complicated modes, you're gonna want to speak to your teammates. In all, it's a difficult game to not recommend. There's nothing like it on the Switch at the moment. Probably the closest we have so far is Bomberman, and that's overpriced for what you're gonna get. Here there's plenty of content, and while it's a bit limited in the sense that you can't select any map you want, any mode you want, any time, thanks to Nintendo's system of switching out different maps every 2 hours, there's still plenty of variety. So what did you think of Splatoon 2? Leave us a comment below and subscribe for more from Pass the Controller.